And welcome back to the show.
Welcome back, everyone.
And welcome our guest today. We have Nick over here, chilling, hanging. What's up, man?
Not a lot.
So,
did you get roped into this at the last minute, or was there some planning going on?
A very small amount of planning.
Okay, because I was going to say, I got last minute notice. He's like, hey, we're bringing a guest. And I'm like, oh, we are?
I knew,
Sweet.
like, last night.
Oh, see, I didn't even know till today.
No.
So,
And then he was like, you don't mind, do you? Of course, I don't mind. I never do. It's our podcast, not mine.
Well, I know, but,
so,
like...
It's nice to have somebody come in every once in a while and...
different pace.
Yeah, change things up a little bit. So, do you got some stories for us? Or are you just going to be a...
No, I have
bystander?
stories.
Oh, you got some stories. Nice.
Yeah, see, I don't buy... I don't buy...
Oh, you bought him?
No, I
wow,
didn't buy
prostitution, here we go.
I'm too broke for that shit, but I...
so we got you here for giving sexual favors, is that what I'm hearing?
Burlap
he
sack.
gave me the sexual favor.
No,
that's what I was alluding to.
No. Just the tip. This is our secret, damn it. And...
Which tip? I mean... Is it the Greasy Strangler tip or the Sun's tip?
Fuck that movie. Fuck that movie.
He says fuck that movie, but he's been quoting it all morning.
Right? I mean, it just sticks with you. It's such a shitty fucking movie.
And it head.
It sticks with you. Like,
fucking
the mental image of this Greasy Strangler alone. Like,
carrot penis.
Seriously? And the fact that somehow the grease is magical.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they turn from rational people into these just like
feral people.
Feral grease-covered people. They can't even talk. Like they're
no explanation.
Yeah.
No explanation.
None. I found out that there's a couple short films prior to that one.
Oh my goodness! About the grease.
Yes, I'm gonna about the Greasy Strangler. I gotta watch them because I gotta know. Is that grease radioactive? Like, what the fuck?
Okay, so there's short films that have like some kind of explanation. Or
I'm hoping there's explanation.
You're hoping they have an explanation.
I'm gonna watch it just for that to see if there's an explanation. They're shorts, so they're only half hour at the longest. There's like 3 of them.
It's 90 minutes gone to waste.
I guess it's like some sort of skit. Or what? It started out as a skit. Was my understanding from what I was looking at.
That movie just fuck, dude.
Yeah. Do we have ourselves any messages or anything?
No, we don't have any messages, unfortunately. Nope, not a one.
Wow.
But we are getting new listeners in every episode and each day coming in.
Nice.
Yeah, it's getting pretty amazing. So we're going to say it every episode. If you guys want your idea featured on the next episode, make sure you go to the Anchor app and voice message us on there and just straight up be like, what's up? Hey, you forgot this. You didn't put this in the episode. Or I have an idea for a badass episode I need to see. I need to hear you guys say it.
Idiots because the information's wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Google never lies.
Yeah.
Google never lies.
That's why you gotta use the Vagoogle.
What?
The Vagoogle.
The Vagoogle.
Never mind. It's
but if they don't send in a voice message, is the Greasy Strangler going to show up?
Yes. You don't want to see that carrot dick, that greasy carrot penis,
and his son with the greasy
baby carrot
penis.
Yup. little baby carrot penis.
Definitely shows when it comes to that section, the apple fell really far from the tree.
Yeah, and I know nothing about that. No. Oh man, that's great.
Speaking of messaging, I didn't do it, but I'm thinking about it on the Creeps and Peepers Facebook page that I follow as well. I saw that somebody was asking if there was a podcast where listeners could call in.
I think I saw that today.
And I almost messaged on it or answered on it saying that, you could ours. Yeah. But I didn't. I got sidetracked.
I didn't even think about it.
You bastards. You fucking up. No.
You're on that page
you
too,
were
aren't
fucking
you?
sleeping, so
I am a hibernation bear. I'm not one of the sexual bears. I just like to hibernate for long winters. And
Yeah,
after
he went to bed at like 7 in the morning.
if you consider all year winter,
Duh. My hibernation never sleeps. It never rests until I do.
you mean never wakes?
Yeah. Okay, whatever. I'm
Hibernation is
getting my jibber jabber mixed up.
Fool. Pity the fool.
But no, that'd be great. I was wondering if we were to do something like that, what number would we use?
Well, I don't know.
Pointing at you.
Well, no, the reason why I was thinking about it because most of the time, like on Scared to Death, it's an email form. People email them and then they read it out, right?
Yeah.
But we have the ability for people to voice message us on Anchor.
Yeah, so
that's
I'll have
kind
to,
of the same thing.
I'll have to show you. I think I've shown him. But have you ever listened to The Secret Suck, the Patreon?
I've heard of it. I have not listened to it yet.
Yeah, so they have voice message on there.
Okay. These people were looking for a horror podcast.
Yeah, I know. I like I said, I saw that one, so. But yeah, I just didn't even think about it.
If we should probably comment on that post and be like, hey, kind of lesser quality.
I think
we're definitely not movie quality here, but
all three of us should message it and be all like, hey,
check this one out.
Look at me, I'm horror.
Ooh, over here.
Woo, woo, woo. Woody the Woodpecker.
Yeah, I don't know if you can, but you can probably link your Facebook page in there.
Yeah.
Because it's a private Facebook page, I'm not sure how that works with that.
They would probably have to approve it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I see people dropping links in there all the time.
Yeah, with it being in the comments, you might be able to do it.
I'll do it.
So, yeah, do it. People should definitely check us out and voice message us.
I almost feel hesitant and stuff like that sometimes, though, because, like, I don't want to take away from the original creator of that's his group. Like,
right.
I almost feel like
I agree.
Well, but if they're asking,
but it's just answering a question being asked.
Yeah,
it's not like out of nowhere, out of the blue. You're like, hey, come check us out. You're like, oh, well, you asked this question. Well, here's one podcast.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen that before on all of their pages where people are like, oh, does anyone have any podcasts that are similar to this? And
yeah.
I mean, I don't think they would have any problem with that. Like,
I don't think so.
I don't think they're losing viewers. I mean, I think it's more so, hey, I've listened to all of their stuff. Now I need more.
I'm caught up and I'm waiting for new stuff, and I'm like itching for more.
Yeah.
And I've heard them plug other podcasts on their show too.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's not like they're like it's ours or nothing.
Fair enough.
I'm not saying flood their page with stuff of our podcast, but
it just spam their page with it,
right?
But
it would be a good I think it would be a good mention though if somebody's looking for something different. And
yeah,
I mean, because definitely we definitely fall in the realm of the weird with our podcast because
oh yeah, dude, we cover everything.
We're not serious either. Like, we're super retarded. In a good way, though.
In a good way. Good is
one of us may have rode the short bus a lot.
Shh.
And it's not me.
Shh. Do not agree with anything. Fuck you, Jigsaw. You little bastard. Anyway.
Oh man.
Speaking of dwindling and
how many listeners do we have?
We're I believe at 198 right now.
Damn.
From the last time I checked. Damn. It was like a 197 or 198.
So we only need like 6,800 more before we can get a Shudder.
No. Why don't you add another like 0?
Oh, did they reply back to you?
Yeah, they did. So you haven't actually you haven't listened to the newest episode yet.
No, not yet.
So they did reply back. And the email stated that basically they're not going to give out a sponsorship unless we're getting like 60,000 listens or downloads per episode. Okay. So, if 60,000 people want to come out of fucking nowhere, that would be great.
I seen you look on Shudder, and you can see they actually have their own Shudder-produced podcasts.
Yeah.
So it makes sense why they would have higher standards, because they're like, well, if we have a need for a podcast, we'll just create one.
Yeah.
Not knowing that such a badass one exists already.
No, I get that, but the more chances of someone hearing about their product, I think they're going to take in more consideration of like who's got the more viewers.
I think their numbers are a little high, though. I mean, come on, 60,000 per episode, like.
Oh, what they're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I think it's a little high.
That's what they said. That's the example they gave me of somebody that had up to that, and I
could see where they would want more than 200 listeners. I mean, I get that.
Yeah, but
I mean, if you could show them, like, from beginning to now, like, how quickly it's escalated per episode, you can see a huge jump.
I agree with that. I think it's, for what it is, I think it definitely has jumped and escalated pretty fast.
Yeah.
For, like, on my...
just goofing around on your couch.
Yeah. Like seriously, like, from comparatively to my YouTube channel, which I
shameless plug.
Huh? What?
Nothing.
Whatever. I think I only had like 50 within like, and that took me about a couple months.
Yeah.
To get to like that, and then it just started going up. But like us, it took 2-3 episodes.
It's because you didn't have me on your YouTube channel.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Where the fuck were you then?
You're on a couple of his videos, right? Aren't you?
One, I think.
Yeah, because I'm on 1 or 2.
I'm on like 1, I think.
What video?
Among Us.
Among Us.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he probably cut my audio out of it.
I know.
Because I kept saying Whitey's got to pay.
Yeah.
I didn't even cut that out.
Because I know he got pretty defensive about that one, saying, "Oh, I can't have that."
Well, we
were all like, "Fuck you, Goat Man."
I'm not gonna lie. YouTube's kind of like one of those. They're very sensitive.
Yeah, I get that, especially since little kids get on there and.
Well, I think he has his channel set so that it's got an age restriction, don't you?
Yeah, basically anybody 16 and up. I have it set for that.
You know how easy it is to lie and say.
No, I get that. You can make an account
so,
and say you're fucking 30. I get
you
that.
can only do so much anyways, regardless.
That's not what I did.
Oh.
Not at all.
God.
I would never do that.
For your porn addiction?
I'm pretty sure last time I was here, we was established that you had the porn addiction.
Oh.
It comes up. It comes up at least once every episode.
So I have something interesting for you guys.
Yeah?
Yeah, no. So I love Japan just as much as anybody, but the creepy shit that they do there is fucking weird, right?
Oh, yeah.
So a dwindling aging population and low youth retention rate in Nagaro, Japan, has left behind a shrinking village. Artist Ayano Tsukayumi reportedly moved back to her hometown to find the lessened local population. In response, she created life-size dolls to place around the village to give it a sense of life. Alas, Obscura reports there are now at least 350 toy citizens inhabiting the village.
Wow.
That's fucking weird.
We need to go.
I already wanted to go to Japan.
That's my dream trip. Like, okay, so it's
Super
settled.
Mario World, Haunted Village, like
the Japan Disney World sounded pretty dope too, and the Suicide Forest.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah. No, there's a lot of cool shit.
So what you guys need to do is when you go to Japan, record your podcast within the forest at night.
Oh God.
I'm actually thinking about that when we go hunting for Bigfoot.
Recording a podcast,
recording the episode while we're out there.
So what is your plan for that exactly? Are you tent camping? Are you
tent camping? Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna hike in, set up camp, and just
look for Bigfoot?
Go looking for Bigfoot during the day and tell scary podcast stories at night.
Okay.
I think that sounds really good. The setting would be really nice.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Obviously, the hard part is going to be recording at night.
Yeah.
Because to take all of this equipment with us and have a way to power said equipment.
Yeah, because I have a generator, but you probably don't want the sound of the generator.
Right, yeah, well, and backpacking in, you really don't want to...
Yeah. Well, I mean, so you're wanting to backpack all the way in. You don't want to have it where... Because you and me both have a truck.
Even trucks can only get you so far.
Well, yeah, but
I'm just saying, where Bigfoot's been sighted, you want to be...
in the forest, in the deep. I
think there's areas where we can get our trucks that.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Well, we're gonna look at it some more. This plan is still coming together. I was actually looking at camping gear today. Actually.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, on Amazon.
Yeah.
A foldable shovel.
You know, it's funny because recently, within the last year or two, there was migrated wolves that just migrated into the Wenatchee forest that were spotted.
Yeah, we are definitely not going unarmed.
Okay.
Is that what you're thinking, though, Wenatchee Valley Forest?
Yeah, up in the Wenatchee Valley Forest.
Okay.
Because that's one of the sightings.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but...
Okay, now we just need to...
we're just going to do some research and see which area is heavy in sightings, and that's where we want to go.
Well, I mean, so what I would be interested in is find out if, like, Mount Rainier is heavy in Bigfoot sightings, because I know it's also heavy in UFO sightings, too.
Yes, it is. It is in Bigfoot as well.
Okay.
Or at least it used to be.
Yeah, so
I know because there was a long
then you got
time
Bigfoot and UFO.
There was a long time theory out there that Bigfoot's an alien, in which case that's why you can't find him
or the remains
because he's an alien. And a lot of times used to be that they could correlate a UFO sighting within X amount of miles of a Bigfoot sighting in the same weekend.
So, like, here's my plan. All right, we're deep in the forest. We're just hanging out.
No gay shit.
Huh? No gay shit, of course. And we're just chilling. And then we get up, we start hunting. I'm gonna put on a Bigfoot suit with lipstick and a dress, and I'm gonna go out and do my mating call dance.
Oh yeah!
And just gonna go auga, auga. Just fucking
nice man, nice.
I got it.
I like it.
We attract Bigfoot.
As long as he's the one dressed up as the girl Bigfoot, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. You gotta play the sexy music. Put some
Nelly on. We'll make sure that we are heavily armed.
Yeah, I don't have a gun.
Well, we'll make sure that at least 2 out of 3 have a gun.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, I don't know if my gun could take out a Bigfoot.
But it should be enough to deter, I think.
Deter or at least distract long enough for us to run the fuck away.
I'm gonna go buy a new gun.
Really, all we have to do, Nick, is we just have to shoot Ethan in the legs. Because we just have to outrun him.
You bastard.
That's just it, right? You just have to run faster than the slowest person.
Or if any listeners want to volunteer as tribute.
Ooh.
We're gonna rub you in barbecue sauce.
You could come hang out with us, and if a Bigfoot shows up and we have to run away, then sacrifice yourself to save us.
And you could be in a live recording.
Exactly.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
That would be really cool. If any listeners wanted to go and be in a live recording like that, listen to us live, tell a story or two.
And I got
some
my
ghost stories about haunted forests, maybe.
Yeah. What we could
in the forest.
What we could do instead of dragging all this equipment out and everything, right? Just hear me out. I have lavalier mics that we can use that you just clip onto your shirt, and so we just record through the phone. Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
And then you just send it to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to send it to you.
Well, then you're not
keep
gonna
it for
be on
myself.
Gosh. Anyway, so get back on track. So you have something.
Yeah. I don't we don't normally do this. This is kind of a new thing. You don't even know about this.
Oh, surprises! I love it.
Surprise!
Surprise!
I mean, you do know that this happened, but you didn't know that we were going to talk about it. My brother-in-law and I went this last Friday. We got kind of, I know it's going to sound kind of gay, but we got matching tattoos.
Oh.
Yeah. We got horror-themed tattoos. That's why I thought it'd be great to bring up.
Yeah.
They're knives, as you can see in the pictures here. I got Art the Clown from Terrifier.
It's a good one.
Classic.
Yeah, it looks pretty dope, too.
And then he got Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, there was a slight joke of his being bigger than yours.
Yeah, you can see in the picture here. But it's because also you can see in the picture, I have a lot more ink going on. So it had to get fit into the space.
So what you're saying is size doesn't matter.
Quantity.
As you both look at me with the weirdest look.
Quantity.
Oh, okay. So more
is better.
More tattoos. The better.
Yeah.
The art. No, yeah, they're really cool.
Ethan, I have a question for you.
What's your question?
What is your opinion on the matching tattoos?
I think that's really cool. I think that
I think he's sad that he wasn't invited.
Well, I was kind of wondering if he was gonna try and make a gay joke.
No,
about you guys having matching tattoos, because me and him have matching tattoos.
Shh.
Yeah, I know.
Why you gotta announce this to everybody in the world? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's not like we're the only people in the world that have this tattoo.
Yeah.
You thought you were, but no, you're not exclusive.
No, there's a lot. No, I think that
as far as I know, I'm the only person in the world that has this tattoo because I came up with this one on my own.
Yeah. No, mine may have recognizable characters, but my artist does his own twist on everything.
And I think that's the most important thing. I like your guys' tattoos are like good separately. Like they're not necessarily matching,
right?
But they're good on their own.
They're matching in the aspect of their knives and their horror characters. Yeah,
with the faces of the character
and the handles are the same. You know.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, I just meant
like separately. You can't tell what it is and enjoy it.
Like if you got a tattoo that doesn't, like there's people that get like handshakes or something, you know, like hand holding or something like that. But I mean, it looks good. Okay, you're showing me your tattoo, your dragon tattoo with the yin and yang, but I feel like that's different because yours would look good separately as it is together. Right. Like it looks like equally, if not better together and also separately. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Some people just get dumb tattoos though.
Yeah, I've seen.
So yeah, I just wanted to share that because I thought, you know, what a better audience than ours.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think it's a great idea.
So, but now, are you ready for the random horror fact?
Yep.
Are you ready, Nick?
Yeah, I am.
Got any guesses on what we're going to be talking about?
I've got a guess.
Okay.
Is it about vampires?
It is not.
Oh. Well, then I'm wrong.
It's random for a fucking reason. Only his game is tailored to the topic. Mine's fucking random.
Well,
I just picked
it
different
seemed
shit.
like yours is kind of sticking somewhat close in some episodes, at least.
There's a couple.
Okay, I think there's a couple where it's like a coincidence.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
You were like, I'm gonna do a horror fact on the topic.
No, actually, I just Google and start looking, and I find a horror fact that interests me, and I'm like, yeah.
You have them set up for the next 12 episodes.
Actually, I've been slacking. I've been slacking, and I actually am only on the current episode right now. Because I still don't have a fucking kitchen, and that kind of puts a downer on things.
A little bit.
Yeah. Anyways, this week's horror fact, we are going to be talking about Candyman.
I like candy.
It shows. In addition to allowing the filmmakers to cover his face with bees, can't even talk today. Jesus Christ. Tony Todd actually agreed to a film scene in which he had a mouthful of bees, and that too was all real. He told TMZ that he wore a dental dam to prevent any bees from sliding into his throat, which doesn't mean he didn't suffer a sting or two, or 23 to be exact. Over the course of 3 Candyman movies, though it might have been worth it, I had a great lawyer, he told TMZ, $1,000 a pop. So each time he got stung, he got $1,000.
Damn.
I'll get stung for that.
Yeah.
I'm a horrible.
Madison, too, had to get up and close and personal with those bees. In fact, that almost forced her to pass on the role. When Bernie was first asking me to do the role, I said, well, I can't. I'm allergic to bees, she told the Horror News Network. He said, no, you're not allergic to bees. You're just afraid. So I had to go to UCLA and get tested because he didn't believe me. I was tested for every kind of venom. I was far more allergic to wasps, so he said, we'll just have paramedics there. It'll be fine. You know, actors, we'll do anything for a paycheck. So fine, I'll be covered with bees. So we had a bee wrangler, and he pretty much told us you can't freak out around the bees or be nervous or swat at them. It just would aggravate them. They use baby bees on me. They can still sting you, but are less likely. When they put the bees on me, it was crazy because they have fur. It felt like little Q-tips roaming around on me. Then you have pheromones on you, so they're all in love with you and think you're a giant queen. I really just had to go into the Zen sort of place, and the takes were very short. What took the longest was getting the bees off of us. They had this tiny bee vacuum, which wouldn't harm the bees. After the scene where the bees were all over my face and my head, it took both Tony and I 45 minutes just to get the bees off. That's when it became difficult to sit still. It was cool though. I felt like a total badass doing it.
That's pretty fucking scary. I don't know if I'd have the balls to do that.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're getting paid an extra $1,000 a pop.
Yeah.
But is it... He got paid $1,000 for every time he got stung?
Yes.
So he made $29,000.
$23,000.
$23,000, sorry.
Just off of bees. Yeah.
Ah, fuck.
I think I would do it.
Yeah, I mean...
But doesn't your face swell up
I feel
bad?
I feel almost like I would just be like, okay, right at the end, I'm just going to freak out and try and get stung by as many bees as I can.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, I would too. I think it'd be interesting to see. I don't know that I could do with the bees in my mouth, though.
Yeah.
Like, that would be a difficult one to do. Even with a dental dam, I mean, that just keeps them from going down the back of your throat. But all around in your teeth and your gums and everything, I mean, that's just ridiculous. I don't know that I could do that. What about you?
Dude's got some balls. I couldn't.
Yeah, that takes balls of steel, I think. Just
feel like, yeah, no. Can I play something else?
Yeah. Be like, no.
Nah.
No.
Like, it'd be different if it couldn't hurt you. Like a different kind of bug. I don't know.
Would you do cockroaches?
I feel like I'd be grossed out, but I wouldn't be. You wouldn't have the fear of getting an allergic reaction or something like that. Like, you'd be like, okay, this is fucking nasty, but whatever. I don't know about in my mouth.
I feel like I'd be less likely to want to put the cockroaches in my mouth than the bees.
Yeah.
I would just stab my tongue on their fucking needles. I don't know.
Needles don't bother me that much. So.
No, I mean, like, it's not the needle, it's the stinger.
I haven't been stung in a while. If I'm getting paid $1,000 per.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, you know.
Piss off the bees on purpose, wouldn't you?
I would think about it at least. I'm not going to deny that, but I'm sure there was probably something where they were like, yeah, you can't purposely freak out the bees to get stung.
Well, and I don't think that he would have. I think it was just a clause that, you know, I'm doing this with bees. I could get stung. I want something for my pain. You know, if I get stung, it needs to be worth my
worth your while. Yeah.
You know, not going to go out of my I'm sure there was a clause in there that said that he wasn't going to go out of his way to aggravate the bees to get stung.
Yeah, because like I mean, there was probably thousands of bees.
Yeah.
And if he freaked out and got stung thousands of times.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. Just at the very end of shooting, be like, just start freaking out. Just, did I get the money? Just all, can't talk, all swelled up and shit. Oh, God.
Oh, fuck.
So, who's ready to play a game?
Let the game begin.
So, we're playing Two Truths and a Lie, and this time with an extra person here. And we're going to take the time to go around, and I'm going to let each of you, I'm going to give you each a second to answer, and I'll tell you both after you guys answer. Okay?
Okay, but I'm right.
We'll see. Okay, so the first truth, or is it a lie? There's a poisonous fruit in South America that, if ingested, can cause a reaction of your eyes to bleed, and internal bleeding follows. Number 2, some moths drink human blood. A lot. And number 3, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland in the 1960s had real human skeletons.
Oh, is it me?
No, this is just you thinking about it for a second. If you want to think about it.
So that there's not just dead air space.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys are staring at me.
Looking at you.
Do you want to go first?
Take your time, gentlemen.
I mean, I'll go first if you want.
I've got an idea of what I think is the right answer.
Hey, no cheating. Both of you.
Go right ahead then. If you got.
So I'm thinking it is the first one, that the poisonous fruit in South America. Because I feel like I've heard of the moths drinking human blood. I mean, that could have just been like some kind of myth or something.
Or in a movie.
And the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, I do know that there was, but I also know that he'll change specific things, so the date could be different. He said skeletons. I only know of at least one, so that could be it. But
he does put a lot of thought into these,
I know.
As far as trickery,
it.
and adds little things like that, like an S to make it plural versus singular.
Yeah, and I mean that's what kind of bothers me about that one, because like I know I've heard of that, but I couldn't say the date was right. I can't say that it's multiple or not. I mean,
right.
But the fruit thing, it's like, I feel like that one's still like too far, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
So is that your answer?
The fruits, the poisonous fruits.
All right. I definitely agree with you on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. That real human skeletons were used. So I'm going to say that's the truth. But here's where I differ. I'm going to say that the moths is the lie. Just because there's all kinds of poisonous fruits out there, so that's my justification for thinking.
Well, I'm not denying that there's poisonous fruits. I'm more so the reaction part. is
You know-
the part that it's like.
But it doesn't say when you first.
Yeah, it doesn't say
when
the
you
time
ingest
frame or
it.
anything.
I feel
so
like,
I'm sticking with the
and like I said, I feel like I've heard something about moths that drink blood, almost like kind of like a mosquito type thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like,
Well,
but that could be a myth. I don't know.
who knows? So I'm going with B. Some moths drink human blood is my answer.
Final answers. Those are your
Yeah,
right.
that's-
All good.
Final answer is A.
Okay. Nick was right. Uncle, you were wrong.
Woo.
So
How much did you pay him?
he had no idea about these.
I told him he was. I would let him off on one of the blowjobs that he owed me.
Jesus
Oh, okay.
Christ.
That makes sense.
You tell him.
Why he
Shut
would give
the
you the right
fuck up.
answer. Let me see that sheet. Is the right answer Yep, it's circled.
No, it's not. Quit lying to the audience. So vampire moths feed on the blood of mammals, including humans. They can suck blood for up to 50 minutes. And then the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland is iconic, but its history is a little spooky. When the ride was first built in the 1960s, fake skeletons looked, well, really fake. Disney's Imagineers, aka Imaginative Engineers, weren't satisfied, so they reached out to UCLA's anatomy department for the real deal. As technology improved and fake skeletons began to look more authentic, the real skeletons were reportedly given a proper burial. So, yeah. They used more than just a couple. There was a lot of dead people.
Yeah, and that's what I'd heard, that there were several skeletons.
Yeah. See,
in there, so.
I knew that there was at least one, but I didn't know how much. And I kind of figured there was probably more than just the one.
And there
But
was,
like I said, I also didn't know for sure, and I also couldn't say when exactly the ride was built.
Yeah, I didn't know exactly when the ride was built either, but I did know that there were real skeletons.
Yeah.
and there was another spooky theory out there, and a little bit of a rumor that I was reading on. I didn't add it, but I did read about it. There were reports of the bride actual seeing things that weren't supposed to be in the ride. Like there were like people were seeing like ghosts and people like in the background and shit.
Yeah, I think I read something like that at one point in time.
Yeah, because people were like, "Oh yeah, we were trying to see something, but there was somebody there," and
they're like, "Hey, our friends said that they saw this pirate there, and we didn't see it. Did you move it?" And they'd be like, "No pirate existed in that spot."
yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you ever been on that ride?
I have.
Did you ever see anything?
I did not see anything. Well, I mean, aside from the scenery that is there.
Aside from what you're supposed to see.
Yeah. So I did not see anything spooky or unnatural in there.
Yeah, but I mean, here's my thing. That was back then, is when I was reading the rumors and stuff. But like,
yeah, the skeletons and stuff aren't there anymore.
Yeah,
so.
and they were given a proper burial, so maybe they're
That you
at
know of.
rest. Hey, fair enough. Dark Disney.
So we started this new thing the Saturday. We started out kind of like a little movie club, and we watched the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. What'd you guys think?
I thought it was interesting. I'm not gonna. I personally, I enjoy older movies. I really do. We did a lot more of our own.
We did a lot of goofing and narrating ourselves. Yes,
but
all in all, though, I mean,
it was a good movie. I liked the scenery, and I liked the camera shots, and the technology that they had available to them to be able to make that movie was pretty impressive.
I'd agree, Nick.
I thought it was an interesting movie. I'm not as big of a huge fan of like older movies, especially the older silent movies like that. I don't like reading.
Yeah, I think that's what prompted us to start narrating ourselves.
Yeah.
And going into it. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the acting. I mean,
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie itself.
the way that they had to act things out and stuff, because they know their voices aren't going to be heard.
Yeah.
I mean, and the camera angles and definitely the sets. The sets were amazing. Kind of like a Tim Burton-esque kind of feel to them.
Definitely.
Oh, I know I didn't say it, but this movie was from 1920.
It was one of the earlier movies.
Yeah. In fact, we have a bonus episode where we've talked about it.
Yep, which you guys won't hear until
we say so.
Until we say so. We'll release the Kraken.
I know nothing about this.
Yeah.
Well, it's a special bonus episode.
Cool.
You have not paid enough money to hear it.
He hasn't paid any money.
That's what I'm getting at.
Hey, I bought that thingy.
Yeah, he has brought in some decorations.
Where's my blowjob?
You don't get any.
Gosh.
So
yeah, no, I think that's going to be something that we're going to be focusing on and doing.
yeah, it really cool. I posted it on our Facebook page, a link to the scratch off poster that we're going with.
Oh, nice.
So any of our listeners, if they want to order and
Do it with
watch
us.
along with us, we're working out the specifics to do a watch party with it.
So is this other thing, are you guys going to launch some kind of like Patreon type thing or something else? Or
We haven't really talked about a Patreon, but you know,
I wouldn't be opposed.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. It's just something that I got this scratch off poster for Christmas, and I thought, you know, it'd be fun to sit down, you know, with other like-minded individuals who love horror movies and stuff, and to watch this list, because this list starts at 1920 and it goes all the way up to present. Well, at the time that the poster was printed.
Yeah.
So it's got like the new Invisible Man on it. That's how recent it gets.
So a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually excited for a few of the movies that are on that list. Yeah. Nosferatu, which is...
I actually wore a themed shirt for our podcast today. I see none of you fuckers did.
I was going to.
And he told you not to.
I wore my own merch. I'm good.
No,
That
if we would
counts.
have recorded on time, I had that shirt on, but it was dirty
Oh.
because I had already worn it.
Well, snooze you lose. No, just kidding. Sucker. No, just kidding. So, are you guys ready?
Hey, baby.
What are you trying to do? Rape me?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll
Don't.
let you know later.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, you're starting to piss me off, you little piglet son of a bitch.
You're damn right you are.
So yeah, we'll be, I think from here on out, we'll just be doing a quick little review of each of the movies as we watch them and
Start kicking ass and taking names.
giving our thumbs up or thumbs down, recommendations.
Okay, before we end this little thing right here, 1 out of 10. Just shout a number. I'd give it a solid 7 for an old movie.
6.
I too was going to say 7 because I agree for the time and everything. Good movie.
Okay, so that's
I would recommend it.
That's what you hear. We recommend. We approve.
That's right. Fearful Thought approved. Stop breaking the studio.
I'm not breaking anything. I'm just slowly but surely moving.
And breaking.
I'll
So.
show you an earthquake.
All right. Well, I guess we can move on to our stories.
Is that me first?
Yeah, looks like you're up, buddy. How many stories you got for us today?
I got one.
You got one?
I've been slacking.
Nice. Nick, you said you brought some stories. How many
Yeah.
you got?
I have like 1.5-ish. The second story is pretty short, and they're both more so rather than like an encounter type story. It's more so like an origin story type thing.
Nice. So our guest put in more effort than you did. I like
By a half. By a little bit.
I also had a lot less time to prepare than you.
Hey, fuck you. Anyway.
And I actually only have one story, but I have some facts and theories to go with my one story. So,
okay, little overachievers over here. God,
Negative Nancy over there.
fucking god damn it. Anyway,
So all right, well, I'm ready to be creeped out.
she is extremely creepy. She is scary from her time, and she's here with a fucked up thing, a lot of things that she actually did. We're talking about Elizabeth Bathory. Some say that the Countess Elizabeth Bathory, considered by many to be the world's worst female serial killer, was the true inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. After all, legend has it that she bathed in the blood of at least 650 servant girls she had tortured and killed. She was said to be so evil that villagers kept their daughters in hiding for fear that Elizabeth would take them. Her gruesome activities even earned her such names as the infamous lady and the Blood Countess. This is her story. Elizabeth Bathory, more commonly known in the Western world as Elizabeth, was born in 1560 to one of the most powerful Protestant families in Hungary at the time. She was the daughter of Baron George Bathory, of Baroness Anna Bathory, who were both Bathorys by birth. That was a weird sentence. Possibly stemming from inbreeding within her family. It is said that from an early age, Elizabeth suffered from seizures, loss of control, and fits of rage. As a child, she witnessed the brutal punishments handed out by her family's officers on their estates. And one anecdote describes a gypsy accused of theft who was sewn up in the belly of a dying horse and left to die. Her family tree certainly included some disturbed kin as well. One of her uncles taught her Satanism, and she learned about sadomasochism from her aunt. Elizabeth was married by the time she was 15 years old to Count Ferenc Nadonsdy, a soldier who would go on to lead the armies of Hungary against Ottoman forces threatening Central Europe. After her marriage, the Countess became the mistress of the Nadonsdy estate, where the couple earned a reputation as harsh masters. Building upon her own cruelty, it is believed that Fenrock showed her some of his own ways of punishing his servants. After 10 years, Elizabeth gave birth to 3 daughters and a son. Although the Count participated in his wife's torture activities, it wasn't until the death of her husband in the early 1600s that Elizabeth's true evil came to fruition. She eventually moved to one of her castles at Kashidis in northwest Hungary, now Slovakia, and began surrounding herself with a cohort of servants to help her with her torture practices. Legend has it that one day an attendant girl was brushing Elizabeth's hair when she accidentally pulled too hard and it tugged on a snag in her hair. The Countess erupted in anger, jumping up and striking the girl with the back of her hand. The strike was so hard that it made the girl bleed, and some of the blood was left on Elizabeth's hand. Later that night, Elizabeth noticed that the skin on her hand where the blood had been looked more youthful than she had seen it in many years. This gave her the idea that if such a small amount of blood could make her hand look so young, then more could restore youthfulness to her whole body. It is said that this is when the madness began, and Elizabeth started to bathe in the blood of virgin girls. Young, happy women began to disappear from villages near and far, as well as children. Unhappy girls were lured into the castle with the prospect that they would find work, but they were never seen again. When they arrived, they were locked up in a cellar as they awaited torture. Elizabeth carried out so much of the torture herself, often beating the girls to death. Sometimes she would sew a girl's mouth shut, force her to eat her own flesh, or burn her genitals when she was too sick to get out of bed to beat them. Elizabeth would order her servants to bring up a girl to her quarters, where she would bite their faces and shoulders. In other instances, she would stick needles underneath the girl's fingertips before cutting off the fingers of those who tried to take them out. Soon, Elizabeth began to run out of the young women because she had either already taken them or the villagers had started to hide their daughters out of fear that she would take them. This is when the Countess began to resort to noble girls, a decision that will ultimately lead to her demise. After the murder of one noble girl in 1609, which Elizabeth tried to stage as a suicide, the authorities finally decided to act. During a night raid, officials searched the castle and discovered the dead bodies of young girls everywhere they looked. Some were missing arms and eyes. One body was in the fireplace, not yet fully burned. Elizabeth was taken to trial, and many testified against her, including her servants as well as survivors. One of the servants said that girls were tied up and beaten to death until their whole body was black and charcoal and their skin battered and torn. One girl suffered from 200 blows before dying. Another servant admitted that she had taken red-hot fire pokers and shoved them into the mouth of one girl. She said she placed her fingers in the mouth of another and pulled until the sides split open. Finally, after hearing countless testimonies of the appalling activities that went on behind the castle walls, Elizabeth and her servants were convicted on 80 accounts of murder, although evidence showed that as many as 650 females may have been killed in total. Her servants were sentenced to death, but Elizabeth was imprisoned for a life in a room in her own castle that was boarded up with tiny slits for food and air. Elizabeth lived for 3.5 years before she was found lying dead face down on the floor. After her death, Countess Elizabeth Bathory went down in history as one of the most evil women to have ever walked the planet. And that was it.
Wow.
She's a fucked up lady.
She's pretty fucked up. Sounds like she had a good plan, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
live forever.
Right? I mean,
stay young forever, at least.
Forever young.
So that was a history lesson on a vampire. Not mythically speaking, but
no. I mean, for what I saw when I was looking, there's different types, different theories for vampires.
Yeah, that's in the sense. This is why she's more of a realistic vampire to me.
Right.
Okay, is the fact that, for one, she bathed in the blood. She didn't necessarily drink it, but because it gave her youthfulness. And vampires being living for so long and being what am I trying to say? The youthful for whatever reason that the blood gives them power in some sense. Number two is the sheer fucking raw. What's a good word to use? Just passion out of tormenting all these poor women.
Oh, the passion of to torment. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
that's
pretty fucked up.
Being quiet over there. Did scare you too much?
Yeah, no, I'm super scared right now.
Just speechless.
No.
Beat me, bloody lady. Yeah, no, I would definitely, I would not want to cross between paths with her. But yeah.
I don't know. Might be a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
you might come to the end of the road, but it might be fun getting there.
Might be fun getting there.
I mean, depends on what.
Yeah, maybe.
Depends on what you like. You know what you're into.
Oh fuck. Yeah. Thinking about the great, wonderful time. Elizabeth, no, don't beat me. It's too hard.
Take that poker out.
No.
Shove it back in.
No, don't stop.
Don't stop. Get it.
Oh man.
If I could do a woman's voice, I would totally.
The fuck was that shit?
Exactly. Elizabeth just. God damn.
Smells like Bigfoot's dick!
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Hey, that went far.
A little bit. So.
All right. Cool. So, I guess I'm up next.
Yes, sir.
So I got some vampire facts and theories that I'm going to start out with. The vampire superstition thrived in the Middle Ages, especially as the plague decimated their towns. The disease often left behind bleeding mouth lesions on its victims, which to the uneducated was a sure sign of vampirism. Sorry, I'm making a quick little adjustment here.
So you said green mouths was a sure sign, or did I hear that right?
The disease often left behind bleeding mouth lesions.
Oh, bleeding mouth. I
don't know how you got green out of bleeding, but you know.
I don't know. They both have two E's. They got that "een" part, and I was like, I was confused by that. I was like, wait, green mouth. Wait, what's going on?
Salad mouth.
It wasn't uncommon for anyone with an unfamiliar physical or emotional illness to be labeled a vampire. Many researchers have pointed to the porphyria. I don't even think I'm pronouncing that right, but a blood disorder that can cause severe blisters on the skin that's exposed to sunlight as a disease that may have been linked to the vampire legend. Some symptoms can be temporarily relieved by ingesting blood. Other diseases blamed for prompting the vampire myth include rabies and goiter. When a suspected vampire died, their bodies were often disinterred to search for signs of vampirism. In some cases, a stake was thrust through the corpse's heart to make sure that they stayed dead. Other accounts described the decapitation and burning of the corpses of suspected vampires well into the 19th century.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, I mean,
rabies would definitely be one of the symptoms that I would suggest being more realistic and putting more science into it. I think that I could see that. But
to be like, your kid's a vampire. So here's a stake, here's an axe, and take care of your kid.
He's
like,
sick.
I know he's already dead, but I mean,
you
play with that corpse.
Can't be too careful.
Clean up the corpse, having a nice funeral. Just a vampire hunter, just Van Helsing coming around. Stab, stab, stab. I'm a hero.
Like, you're all welcome.
He may have been a vampire. You don't know for sure.
But now we're safe, regardless.
Just digging up corpses. Stab!
I'm pretty sure they would frown upon that if we went over to the cemetery and start just stabbing corpses.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, we would get kicked out of there for sure.
I think more than just kicked out.
I'm just saying.
I mean, we could try
People are
it
dying
and
to get
see, but
I do not condone.
So vampires have different types of powers. One is immortality, unnatural strength, unnatural senses, like better sight, hearing, smell, sense of touch, taste. Yeah.
Give it a little licky. Little lick of time.
Good old wait. And unnaturally fast. They're unnatural healing. Some can fly. Some can shapeshift. Animal control. Some vampires have exercised the ability to control animals, bats, wolves, rats, etc. Telepathy. Telekinesis. And vision. Most vampires have night or heat vision, but there have been instances of blood flow vision, the ability to see blood flow of any living being. That's pretty cool. Cool power. I mean,
yeah, it is.
Especially if you're one of the ladies at the blood bank, you could never miss the vein then. But
yeah,
I know exactly where that thing's at. Dink.
Nah, they'd still fuck it up just on purpose.
So as you were telling that story, the only thing I can telling about him, I was just thinking, is Superman a vampire? You're telling about these powers, and I'm like, Superman has some of these powers.
So we have a new theory.
The only issue is that
Superman, Martian Manhunter. I mean,
there's issues with your your thing, though. Superman gets powered by the sun. They die in the sun.
I mean,
not all.
maybe he's a special vampire.
Not all.
Some vampires sparkle in the sun.
I was just
Oh,
gonna
fuck. Yeah,
fucking
we ain't
ask
talking
if
about
that was
those
one of their
little bastards.
superpowers.
We're not. No, that is not one of their superpowers.
Fuck it.
Sparkly vampires did not make my cut. I'll tell you that much.
Sparkly vampires don't belong to this goddamn show. Twilight fans out there, I don't give a fuck. There ain't no sparkly vampires, and there's no giant timber wolf werewolves. Those are just assholes, okay?
With fur.
Assholes in jean shorts and fur, okay?
And assholes covered in glitter. The gayest vampires ever.
And those were the gayest werewolves ever.
So you would rather have a Kryptonian vampire, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm down with that.
And Martian.
That's a pretty good theory. I mean, their powers kind of match up.
So I'm currently rewatching Smallville.
Are you?
So Superman's kind of
nice.
I guess Clark Kent.
I'm currently rewatching Teen Wolf.
He won't fucking watch it.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Okay, so this is my reasoning behind not wanting to watch it. I
Okay.
really like to give him shit whenever he suggests a show. And he constantly suggests that show, so I can't watch it and still give him shit about it.
No, you're not allowed to watch it anymore. No. Can't watch it.
It's such a good show.
He's all. I think one of his reasonings before was, it seems kind of gay. It seems kind of like too dramatic and everything like that. And
I don't know anything about the show.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
So,
Anyway.
I've never seen a clip or anything.
although modern science has silenced the vampire fears of the past, people who call themselves vampires do exist currently. They're normal-seeming people who drink small amounts of blood in a perhaps misguided effort to stay healthy. Communities of self-identified vampires can be found on the internet and in cities and towns around the world. To avoid rekindling vampire superstitions, most modern vampires keep to themselves and typically conduct their feeding rituals, which include drinking the blood of willing donors in private. Some vampires don't ingest human blood, but claim to feed off the energy of others. Many state that they don't feed regularly, they become agitated or depressed. So they feed off of your positive vibes, your positive energy, your chakra.
So, like, depressed vampires. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of funny because they're already gothic and...
Just give me your blood already.
God, let me feed on you.
Just let me suck it.
Fuck me.
No, it's okay.
Vampires became mainstream after Dracula was published. Since then, Count Dracula's legendary persona has been the topic of many films, books, and television shows. Given the fascination people have with all things horror, vampires, real or imagined, are likely to continue to inhabit the earth for years to come. Vampire myths were especially popular in Eastern Europe, and the word vampire most likely originates from that region. Digging up the bodies of suspected vampires was practiced in many cultures throughout Europe, and it is thought that the natural characteristics of decomposition, such as receding gums, the appearance of growing hair and fingernails, reinforced the belief that the corpses were in fact continuing some manner of life after death. Also possibly contributing to this belief was the pronouncement of death for people who were not dead because of the constraints of medical diagnosis at the time. People who were very ill, or sometimes even very drunk, and in a coma or in shock were thought dead and later miraculously recovered, sometimes too late to prevent their burial. Belief in vampires led to such rituals as staking corpses through their heart before they were buried. In some cultures, the dead were buried face down to prevent them from finding their way out of their graves, because if they're face down, they would dig down as opposed to up. The modern incarnation of the vampire myth seems to have stemmed largely from the Gothic European literature of the 18th and 19th centuries, about the time vampire hysteria was peaking in Europe. Vampiric features appeared in 18th century poetry such as Henrik August Fielder's Der Vampire, 1748, about a seemingly vampiric narrator who seduces an innocent maiden. Vampire poems began appearing in English about the turn of the 19th century, such as John Stagg's The Vampire in 1810, and Lord Byron's The Giaour, 1813. The first prose vampire story published in English is believed to be John Polidori's The Vampire in 1819, about the mysterious aristocrat named Lord Ruthven, who seduces young women only to drain their blood and disappear. Those works and all others inspired subsequent material for the stage. Later, important vampire stories would include the serial Varney the Vampire. Kind of sounds like Barney. Can you see that big purple dinosaur vampire coming after you?
Chasing little children. Come here.
Barney the vampire dinosaur.
It's an unaired episode.
I love blood. Yes, we do. Fuck you, little kid, I chew.
Yeah. Pretty interesting stuff, you know. The vampire myths, there's quite a bit out there. It took a little bit to narrow it down, you know, because, I mean, you could really go down that rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
So, are you guys ready for my own personal vampire theory?
I am,
but I think I have an idea.
I know I've touched on this before. My theory goes back to our first episode where we were talking about black-eyed kids. And then my theory is that black-eyed kids are vampiric in nature, due to them needing to be invited inside, and that they only show up at night, you know, sunlight and all. Those who are dumb enough to invite these creatures in usually meet ill fate from these kids. The reason these children do not look threatening at first is that they are using some sort of hypnosis on their victims to give a false sense of security. They would want to get into your house or your car. They will be persistent in asking for an invite into your space. Suddenly you will notice something is not quite right about these children. Their eyes, pure black from lid to lid. Dead black orbs devoid of a sclera or iris will chill you to your core. At this point, you let them in. They start toying with your mind, making you see and hear things. These creatures with pale skin, black eyes have been reportedly been seen by hitchhikers, panhandlers, seen all over the place. They want to enter their home to call their parents or call for help. They're lost, need a ride home. The fact that, you know, they have to be invited to your space, to me, toys with the whole vampire thing, you know, where vampires have to be invited into your house before they can come in.
Yeah, it's like the classic vampire move.
Yeah, and so, and they're only ever seen at night. I mean, there's plenty of other creature stories, cryptids, and monsters that are seen during the day. But black-eyed children, only ever at night.
I like your theory, and you had good points to back it up. I could see that being a possibility, in the fact being that a false sense of security using hypnosis and using it as almost a mask. And in that sense, who's to say if you do invite said children into your home, they're using hypnosis. Who's to say that you're not getting your blood drained or life force, if we want to go back to that?
Yeah. I think that it has to be a legitimate invite, like not under hypnosis.
Oh, get inside.
You know, and the fact that they seem to, in our Black Eyed Kids episode, we talked about some of these points where they seem to communicate with each other telepathically, the Black Eyed Kids, which is yet another vampire trait, telekinesis and telepathy.
Okay.
Mind control.
I can see that point.
And, you know, super speed would be another one for them as to why those who do let them in, all of a sudden they're like, whoosh, not there.
Just gone.
Because they sped to a different part of the house or something, you know.
Oh, so your theory back on the first episode, if I remember correctly, when you were talking about it, you were saying that you did say super speed. I remember this conversation. They super speed to a different part of the house, hide, so you think that they're just fucking gone, and when they go to sleep, then they feed.
Yes.
Okay, that is interesting.
That was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if I let some random child into my house and then they just disappeared, I wouldn't just be like, oh, well, they must be gone.
Right? I mean...
I'd be like, where the fuck did that kid go?
But of course, you also have to be dumb enough to let them in the first place.
Well, yeah.
I mean, this day and age, like, I don't know. I mean, the one story we read back in episode 1, I believe it was episode 1, where they discussed about, well, where's your cell phone? And they're like, it's dead. But they, like, took a long time. In my mind, when you were telling the story, it sounded like they're taking a long time to formulate their lie. Because if they're vampiric, they could be very old and may not be all hip on all the new technologies and stuff.
I could see that.
You know? And so they had to think of a quick lie between each other, because if I remember right in the story, you said the two black-eyed kids turned and they looked at each other and then turned back and said...
Yeah, it was an awkward pause in the story.
Yeah. And to me, that was them thinking of their lie as to why they couldn't use their cell phone.
I think that's a very good point right there. I don't know. I like that theory. The more that you talk about it and the more shit that you have to back it up, I think it's not definitive, but it's probable. Like I could see it. If anything, I still believe extraterrestrial, but that's just me. But
So what happens if two vampires get it on and have a baby? Is that where black-eyed children come from?
That could be where black-eyed children
are they just baby vampires?
Trying to grow up in a hard world.
It's a hard world. It's a hard knock life.
And maybe their growth time, because they age so slowly, takes them forever to get from kid to adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Yoda's species.
Yes. How the child is 50 years old, but he looks like an infant.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I can see that. And I have included pictures of black-eyed children in my little presentation here. So they're in here.
It's almost like a throwback.
I also included pictures of different vampires, different images of vampires. You will probably notice when seeing this, I know you can't see it right now, but I did include a picture of Eric Northman from True Blood.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of a better looking vampire, you know, a chick pleaser, if you would.
Oh, so you're just trying to get the ladies back.
Whatever works, man. Also, there's David from the Lost Boys on here too. You know.
That's a good one.
I also included a black vampire.
Why'd you bring race into it?
Just so people, you know,
gotta have some inclusion.
Exactly. That's what I'm going for. See, there's even female vampires.
I was about to ask, is there any female vampires?
Yes, there is. There's even a comic book female vampire.
What about Asian vampires?
Well, that guy could be Asian. We don't know. He's deformed.
Jesus Christ! Why are you assuming this shit?
Don't worry.
I wasn't assuming.
I do have Asian vampires.
This one's German.
You just got pictures off the internet and you were like, I just looked up German vampires and this is what it is.
Mine are specifically Asian.
Well,
that's funny.
Well, I mean,
I'm just giving you shit.
I got Bram Stoker's Dracula on here. I got Vampirella.
You're missing the most amazing vampire that's new, that's coming out. And
I did not include Morbius.
I did not say Morbius. I was not going to say that. You're missing, and I'm sure some of the fans are agreeing with me right now, the most amazing, voluptuous woman ever to come to this earth. Big tall lady, Lady Dimitrescu. I want her to step on me so bad. Step on me, tall lady. Do it now. Just for the love of God. Yeah, she's from the new Resident Evil 8. She's a tall vampire lady with big old titties.
Yeah, we covered that in our game.
I know.
Episode,
But you forgot to put her.
Well, you could have brought in some pictures and had them put on here, but
I know, but you're just putting all these other vampires. Whatever.
She was a video game, and we had already discussed her previously,
we already discussed black-eyed children previously.
But they tie into my theory. My theory is about the black-eyed kids, so
okay,
it's
fair.
relevant.
Okay, fine.
God. You ever see Vampirella?
Yeah, I did. I've also seen Stripperella.
Not a vampire.
Not a vampire, but a great show. Anyway.
Man, Jesus. So, I have my story. My story is about Mercy Brown. Mercy Brown may rival Count Dracula as the most notorious vampire. Unlike Count Dracula, however, Mercy was a real person. She lived in Exeter, Rhode Island, and was the daughter of George Brown, a farmer. Edwin Brown was wasting away for the better part of 2 years. He grew increasingly thin and weak as tuberculosis ravaged the once strapping young man in March 1892. Edwin struggled to breathe as he continually coughed up blood. He sought a cure in the rarefied air and mineral waters of Colorado Springs, Colorado. But the 18-month trip offered no healing powers and only left him homesick for a small town in America's tiniest state. Edwin Brown returned home to Exeter, Rhode Island, where his father tilled the soil as a Yankee farmer. George Brown had watched helplessly as a disease known as consumption took the lives of his wife, Mary Brown, in 1883, followed by his 20-year-old daughter, Mary Olive, 6 months later. While his only son grew weaker and weaker in the winter of 1892, tuberculosis also took his 19-year-old daughter, Mercy Lena Brown, who passed away after a year of sickness on January 19th, 1892. The disease that took 3 members of George Brown's family was the top killers of its time in the 18th and 19th centuries, particularly in New England. Tuberculosis passed easily between people in close quarters, which is why it tended up to sweep through entire families such as the Browns. While the disease was all too common for the townspeople of Exeter, what happened next certainly wasn't. In 1892, tuberculosis was still poorly understood. It was widely known what caused the disease or how it spread. Doctors were unable to explain the wave of sickness washing over George Brown's family, but relatives and friends thought they knew where they could find the cause: 6 feet under. With medical science failing to help Edwin Brown, distraught Exeter residents turned to superstition and supernatural in a desperate attempt to save his life. 200 years after the Salem witch trials, a vampire hysteria gripped the New England town. A group of Exeter residents believed that Edwin's mother or one of his sisters may be undead, caught between heaven and hell, and sucking the life out of him from beyond the grave, which meant the cure could rest with their bodies. With the extremely reluctant blessing of George Brown, who at first discounted the vampire theory, his relatives and neighbors visited the Brown family plot in the town's Chestnut Hill Cemetery on March 17, 1892. In the small graveyard behind the town's Baptist church, they exhumed the bodies of Mary Brown and Mary Olive Brown. They opened the caskets, as would be expected, found only their bones inside. The townspeople then turned their attention to the casket of Mercy Brown, who had died 8 weeks earlier. Accounts differ as to whether Mercy's body had already been buried or if it was resting in a crypt. until the ground could thaw and undertakers could dig the grave, because they don't have backhoes. Lazy fuckers. However, when the lid was lifted off of Mercy's coffin, her body was found on her side, her face appeared flush, and there was blood in her heart and in her veins. Dr. Harold Metcalf, who had raised his objection to the entire affair, assured everyone that the lack of decomposition of Mercy's body was perfectly consistent with the fact that she had been dead for less than 2 months. Knowing that medicine had done nothing to save the Browns, the people of Exeter ignored the doctor's proclamations and took the presence of fresh blood in Mercy's heart as a sign that she was undead. They gathered firewood and kindling on bonfire pile on nearby rocks. Then they cut out Mercy's heart and lungs, cremated them on the pyre. They returned to Edwin Brown's house with the ashes of his dead sister's heart and mixed them in water. Edwin consumed the concoction, but the tuberculosis continued to consume him. He died 2 months later, on May 2nd, 1892. This is not the first time the folk remedy of the burning of the organs of the dead and mixing the ashes into an elixir for the sick had been tried in Rhode Island, even in Exeter. In 1799, the townspeople exhumed the body of Sarah Tillingast, suspecting her of being a vampire. There were 18 documented instances of the exhumation of family members in suspected vampire cases throughout New England in the 18th and 19th century, but the case of Mercy Brown would not be the last. After digging up Mercy Brown, the townspeople buried her heartless body into the ground of Chestnut Hill Cemetery, where, under a weathered tombstone, she now rests in peace.
Oh shit. Bunch of fucked up people.
Oh yeah.
Cut out her heart, cut out her organs.
Burn them. No, drink them.
That's so fucked up, especially to the father. It's just like, I just lost my whole family. No, drink it. Drink it now. Do it.
Drink your family. They will forever be with you.
Yeah. God damn, they were more fucked up than they were in the Salem witch trials. Oh man, that's grody.
It's just those different theories and stuff, that people had back then, and their lack of understanding for science and whatnot.
Well, and I mean, we still kind of see that with certain things today.
You're not alluding to the infamous pandemic.
I'm not even talking about that specifically. I'm just talking about a lot of things.
Over the years?
I mean...
You mean that there's 52 genders?
Well, that, flat earthers, hollow earthers, moon landing deniers.
Flat hollow earthers. I like it.
What? No, there's flat earthers and hollow earthers. I'm sure there probably are people that think that. There's people who think the moon is flat.
I could see that. Somebody's little job they have the moon on his stick and they just like slowly move it.
Yeah, so
giant popsicle
stick. Because I wasn't gonna bring up the pandemic just because
the sun is a flashlight just suspended.
Jesus Christ.
We're really just in one big movie studio.
I mean, we could be. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on today that
there are, and those who believe and disbelieve in the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
Each to their own, I guess, except for those flat Earth fuckers. The Earth is fucking round.
There are specific things where when people deny them, it does kind of piss me off. But I mean, specific things, I'm like, okay, it's not really hurting anyone. Specific other things, I'm just like, you're a piece of shit for denying that. And I'm more so alluding to like Holocaust deniers and the Turkish government for the Armenian genocide and stuff like that. And I'm just like, yeah, you're kind of a piece of shit.
Say hi to Turkey, because we have people in Turkey listening.
Hello, Turkey.
Well,
Your government sucks.
You mean we had people in Turkey that was?
Well, I'm
We saw
sorry
people
that
in
their
Russia, and
government sucks.
Oh, right. That one I thought for sure would get us.
For Russia.
Jesus Christ. Well, on that note, I think it's time that we take a short little sponsor break.
Take it away, Anchor.
They're here.
And welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hello.
Oh, you're still with us.
Holy shit, I thought we disappeared. Hello.
Never would have guessed. I mean, he's super quiet
just
during
'cause-
our stories.
Well, excuse me.
Did we bore you to death?
Maybe you did.
Fucker.
Ouch. Why you got
Well, now we know who's being voted off the island.
You,
That's him.
Nick, do not get a tiki torch.
Damn it.
All right. So you're up, buddy. It's your turn to tell some stories, or whatever you got there.
Yeah, so it's more so an origin story type thing, like I was saying before. So my first one is about the. What are you doing over there?
touching
Oh,
things.
man. Jesus.
Jesus. Okay. Well, so my first one is about the Jiangshi, which is a Chinese hopping vampire or hopping zombie. Yeah.
Interesting. So,
Yeah, so it's because they don't walk, they hop.
So is it a frog?
No,
A
it's
toad?
it is not.
Your mom?
No. Actually, there is an explanation for why they hop that I will get into.
All right. Well, I'll stop interrupting and let you get into it.
Okay. So, the world is filled with monsters, both real and imaginary. Common beasties such as ghosts, vampires, werewolves, and zombies have existed in the human imagination for a millennia. But some creatures are more obscure than others. While these from China, Taiwan, Japan, and other Asian nations may be familiar with the lore of the Jiangshi, many Western audiences are dangerously ill-informed. The Jiangshi are undead humans that have hunted, fed from, and infected the living for thousands of years. They are unique in that they do not walk, stumble, or stagger. They hop. Now, a hopping vampire might seem absolutely hilarious, but the Jiangshi are excellent jumpers. This means that they can suddenly appear before you or behind you, or if you're someone who hates surprises, then you'd hate to meet a Jiangshi. Surprisingly, these creatures aren't the result of ancient evil forces. Rather, they were created by the same people who came to fear them. The story begins over 2,000 years ago, before the unification of China. Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China, was still in the process of conquering the Chinese states when the Jiangshi were born. It is entirely possible that without Qin Shi Huang's war of unification, these hopping vampires would have never come to exist. You see, the Jiangshi were once living, breathing, thinking human beings. Warriors deployed to maintain state borders and fight off Qin Shi Huang's forces often traveled far from home. Many died in battle. Their families could not afford to have their bodies sent home, which was extremely stressful. To attain some kind of closure and possibly the body of their lost loved ones, the common people turned to Taoist priests. The priest would perform a sacred ritual to contact the body and soul of the deceased. They would then give the dead person a specific set of instructions to allow them to return home. Because of rigor mortis, which causes the body to become very stiff and inflexible, these priests encourage the dead to hop their way back to their loved ones. In fact, Jiangshi literally translates into stiff corpse. These living dead seem to be pretty innocent, at least at first. So how did they become vampires? It's highly unlikely that any of the original Jiangshi ever returned home to their families. Grieving families who had placed their trust in the local priests didn't lose faith after their loved ones remained lost. Instead, they assumed that something had gone terribly wrong during the ritual. In their eyes, the dearly departed family members had reanimated, but they had lost the good part of their soul. An undead creature that has lost all of its kindness and grace can only be pure evil. Consequently, the vampire-like Jiangshi that we know and fear today was born only able to move around during the night. These beings represented the fear of death, the unknown, and the dark. They could be created through a violent death or suicide, or improper burial, or a late burial. Unlike the vampires of Eastern Europe, Jiangshi could not escape from their graves. Instead, they were the product of neglect. One can only imagine how many corpses lined the early roads and fields of ancient China during Qin Shi Huang's wars. These poor souls that remained unburied transformed into Jiangshi during the night. This was accomplished through energy absorption. Moonlight and starlight shining down on an unburied body would become vital energy, and the body would consume, allowing them to reanimate. Now you know how these hopping vampires were created and why they hop. But would you recognize one if you saw one? Chances are you wouldn't. The description of Jiangshi's appearance varies greatly. However, there are few commonalities across all sightings. Jiangshi tend to retain their human form, but they have pale white-green skin. Some may even be able to transform into floating balls of light to help them lure victims, in which the anglerfish uses bioluminescence to lure prey. Jiangshi's hair may be white or green, just like their skin. Their mouth is full of sharp, serrated teeth like a shark. Some are said to have long, thick fingernails that cannot be broken or split. These nails may...
It's okay.
These nails may also be sharp enough to cut, stab, or impale a victim, as Jiangshi's breath is so horrifically bad that some believe a single breath in your face can kill you. A strange glowing green mold seems to take hold of many Jiangshi, allowing them to glow slightly. In a few accounts, the monster kind of looks like Gene Simmons of the rock group Kiss. It has a long tongue, big bulging eyes, and a gaudy costume. Of course, instead of black leather or spandex, the Jiangshi are known to wear clothing that dates back to the Qing dynasty. Though the Jiangshi were well equipped for murder, it doesn't often cause immediate or noticeable physical harm to their victims. Unlike vampires, it does not subsist on blood. And unlike zombies, it has no craving for human brains or flesh. Instead, the Jiangshi feeds on energy, also referred to qi in many Western countries. It is a person's vital life force. Without it, a person immediately dies. Naturally, it's a Jiangshi's favorite snack. Luckily, being dead isn't the only way to avoid contact with the Jiangshi. There are a handful of methods that can help you survive an encounter, and some seem easier or more convenient than others. For example, you could decide to drop a bag of solid gold coins on the floor to escape a Jiangshi's grasp. The shiny coins that scatter across the ground will cause the hopping vampire's OCD to flare up, and it will have to stop and count the coins. However, this is an expensive solution. An easier or more efficient solution is to hold a Taoist symbol to one's forehead. As long as the symbol is held against the head, a Jiangshi will be unable to hop away. But perhaps the more practical way to avoid an encounter with a Jiangshi is to avoid walking the streets late at night. This is also a great way to avoid getting mugged, assaulted, or worse. In fact, a Jiangshi may simply be a kind of cautionary metaphor for the criminal acts that often occur on dark, poorly lit streets or country roads.
So the Jiangshi, am I saying that right?
I'm not for sure. I looked up a pronunciation and it seemed like it was Jiangshi.
Okay.
But I mean,
Okay, no, fair.
Google could be completely wrong. So
Yeah, Google could be fucking that up. The
Fucking
Google Translate.
So I wrote down a few things.
yeah, I was just I kept seeing you like
Sorry.
moving around. And I'm like, what the fuck are these?
Sorry, I did.
No,
I was
no,
not
no.
intending on distracting you.
Motherfucker was asking you what episode we should do next, and he was holding up a piece of paper. I tried so hard to be quiet, and he's all like, the second line he wrote, "Fucking vampire frogs" or some shit like that.
Frog vampires.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if like you guys were trying to get me to like talk louder or what was going on, and I'm like,
So I actually turned your mic up. That was one like gesture that I was trying to do to because I noticed that it wasn't quite very loud. So
It's okay.
I cranked yours up just to so people can hear you a little bit better. No, and then one other note I made was OCD shark frog zombies.
OCD shark frog zombies.
Yes, because you said shark like teeth, and
Yeah.
so I'm envisioning this humanoid shark person with shark teeth and black eyes, like black-eyed kids. See, I'm tying it all together.
God, you are.
with frog legs and some really bad OCD.
Well, so they don't have frog legs. They do have regular like.
In my mind, they have frog legs.
No.
Okay. Yes, that's my new movie. That's my movie idea.
Leapfrog gone wrong. Jesus Christ.
Come on now. I mean, you gotta admit that'd be pretty terrifying. A humanoid shark figure with frog legs, blacked out eyes,
I don't know. If
and they're just hopping down the street after you.
What's a
Okay.
terrifying thing?
You're just walking down the street, and then all of a sudden you just hear a hop, and then you're like, "What the fuck is that?" And you turn around, and it's like right there behind you.
Exactly. Yeah, he gets it.
Maybe.
Movie idea. I'm telling you, we'll make millions off it. I mean, fuck, if people could make all kinds of money off of sharks at a tornado,
Yeah.
nothing's off limits.
Motherfucker, you like that movie.
Oh, I'm not complaining. I love that movie. Sharknado is fucking awesome.
Oh, B movies.
You know, everybody gives it so much shit, but yet there's like 5 of those fucking movies.
I thought there was more than that.
Is there more than that?
I don't know for sure. I've never actually seen any of them. I just thought there was more.
I know that there's at least 4. But that's what kills me. You know, people knock them, but yet if people didn't watch them, they wouldn't keep making them. They'd be like, "Oh, well, that one flopped, so sweep it under the rug. Next." You know. So I'm telling you, my OCD shark frog zombies.
Okay.
That's gonna be the next big thing.
Okay. Well, I do still have one more story that maybe you can get some inspiration from them.
I'm writing down. Yeah.
You're writing all these down.
Yeah, I'm writing down my movie ideas here. I'm trying to share them with him, and he's not taking them seriously. He's laughing at my movie ideas.
I'm not laughing at your movie ideas. I'm laughing that you're all like, cult episode next. Or whatever this episode next. And like, I was just like...
So I'm trying to multitask a little bit. Okay, I am listening to your story, obviously, because I got
Sure.
shark frog zombies.
I don't know. He seems to have more information about my story than you do.
I didn't...
Right? That's what I'm saying.
I was being nice.
Shark, frog, zombie vampires.
I don't know.
With OCD.
All I know is I
You
just
can entrap them
can
with
see out of
shiny
the
gold
corner,
coins.
see out of the corner of my eyes. You guys all waving stuff around, and I'm just like, what's going on back there?
Man.
Jesus. All right, Nick. Moving on. Tell us your next story. We're ready.
Okay, so my next story does not come from China. It comes from Japan. So this one I forgot to look up a pronunciation on it, so I am probably going to be way off.
It's not like we've been spot on every time
but
anyways. So,
I'm just...
we appreciate that at least our guest is trying harder than we are to pronounce things.
Yeah, I'm just giving a fair warning that, I'm probably going to be way off on this. I don't speak Japanese. So, it's the Neurona, or Neurona, or something, I don't know. Meaning wet woman. A vampiric sea serpent who haunts shores and rivers looking for humans to eat. They are most commonly found on the shores of Kyushu, But there are stories of the Neurona encounters as far north as Niigata or as far east as Fukushima. While physically much stronger than a human, Neurona performs to use trickery to catch their prey. Rather than relying on brute force, they most often appear on the coast near the water or by a riverbank, magically disguising as a distressed woman carrying a bundled up baby. They cry out for help from fishers, sailors, and anybody passing by. When the prey approaches, the Neurona will plead with him to hold her baby for just a moment so that she can rest. If he agrees and takes the bundle, it quickly becomes as heavy as a boulder, and her victim is unable to move. The Neurona is then free to attack her helpless victim, feeding by draining his blood with her long serpentine tongue. Neurona frequently appears together and cooperates with the Oni, and they inhabit the same environment and share the same diet. There are two variations of the Neurona, one without arms, which resembles an enormous sea serpent with a woman's head, and one with human-like arms. Aside from this difference, the two varieties look and act exactly the same in exactly the same manner. Their faces are hideous and often betray serpent-like features, such as forked tongue. They have long black hair which sticks to their dripping bodies, and then the name comes from the fact that they always appear sopping wet. And like I said, this one was a shorter story, so that's all on that. There was a lot more information, but I didn't have a lot of time.
Well, that's fair. Well, no, actually, that was an interesting story. I've seen some of the pictures of her, and
I would have loved to have seen some of the pictures of her.
Well, I did have pictures. Someone forgot to bring them.
Huh. Sounds like pretty good planning.
Hey, the viewers won't know it. I'll edit all this shit in. Don't worry.
So I added
what he's saying is you're going to have to watch this on YouTube
that's what
to
he's saying.
see the pictures.
Usually I just listen to it.
Well, you're going to have to watch it now.
Yeah, apparently.
If you want to see the pictures.
Yeah, I'm going to have to now.
Or you can listen to it and then rewatch it again later.
All of our listeners are going to have to watch it on YouTube too. So they check out all of our cool pictures that we put up with all of our videos.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's quite a few of them out there. So I added to my vampire story.
Okay.
So picture this. It's an OCD serpent, shark, frog, vampire zombie. They eat babies while counting their toes and licking up their toe jam with forked tongues.
The fuck is wrong with you? That's the only thing I gotta say. Some nasty shit going on. God
okay, then.
Damn it.
Come on.
You ain't buying any fucking Blockbuster seats going to that.
I don't know. I got a movie idea. I just have to write it.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a big blockbuster. Look at Sharknado.
That's true.
You just get on a streaming service and then boom.
Hey, Shudder.
Everybody starts talking about this movie, and then it becomes popular because people are talking about it. Sharknado isn't popular because it's a phenomenal piece of artwork. It's popular because so many people have watched it and recommend their friends, like, dude, you just gotta watch this fucking film. Sharks in a fucking tornado. Like,
it's so stupid.
It's so good. Stupid. You're gonna laugh your ass off all the way through it. And that's why it became popular.
Okay, but do you have a sequel to your movie yet?
I'm working on it in my head right now.
Okay.
Finds a date.
So I don't know if I've ever told you, but I do have a movie idea. I do have my sequel ready too. I just have to, write them. And I did start on the first one.
Nice.
Yeah. It's not like a paranormal or cryptid or anything. So,
hey,
but
idea's an idea. Speaking of paranormal, did Ethix here tell you some of the stuff we experienced the last time we...
No, I didn't.
Holy shit.
It was weird.
There was some weird shit going on.
In the studio or
yeah.
In the studio with your mic that you're currently using.
Okay.
We believe it is now haunted. That's why it's yours to use.
Okay.
It's cursed.
That's cool.
Super weird. We were talking about haunted objects. I don't know if you've listened to that one.
I have not yet.
Anyways,
Hey,
we were telling some pretty good stories in there, and took a quick little sponsor break like we do. Come back, and there was nothing but static coming from that microphone.
Good.
Like, it was super loud static, and we could not figure out
Nothing
why.
was wrong with the mic. Nothing was unplugged. I checked the whole
he
mic.
Unplugged it, plugged it back in. We checked the settings, everything, and all it would produce is static.
Huh.
And then
Kind of creepy. And then while we were telling stories and stuff, I kept seeing stuff like out the corner of my eye, movement. And I'm like, there's nothing. I mean, you see our studio. There's nothing. There's not even a big fan or anything.
Yeah.
That could potentially blow anything around. We have a heater going, but it's way up there, and there's nothing for it to blow around.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird. And we kept hearing noises off and on. It was just a
weird,
creepy, weird episode.
Okay.
Like, I don't know.
I hear that you hear that saying though. The more you talk about something, the more that you attract it.
I don't know. I mean,
invite it in.
I've talked about a lot of it in my house, and
Oh, I know. I you little jokester.
still nothing.
Fuck you, demon.
The only thing I've seen is
Fuck
the red
you,
eyes in the
Goatman.
corner of my room, and
Well, wow. Yeah, that's why they say you should cleanse your house.
I don't want to.
Well,
I don't wanna.
Yeah, you might not want to. I'm just saying, in general,
I'm waiting for that.
when you deal with those kinds of things, you should cleanse your house so you have a nice, inviting atmosphere.
Waiting for a demon to show up.
Give you some fucking superhuman healing powers or some shit.
Oh, maybe I'm waiting for a succubus. I don't know.
The best kind of demon to fuck you to death.
If I had to encounter a demon, why not be the sex demon?
Well, this is true. This is true. I mean, you're gonna dream big, right?
Go big or go home.
It's just like shadow people. If they're around, I mean, at least they can do is take care of things.
Jesus Christ.
They're gonna wake me up in the middle of the fucking night. At least make it worth my while.
Exactly.
See, he gets it.
Yeah, he
I mean,
does
come
get
on.
it.
And you're just over there like,
I'm just being polite. That's all I'm
He's
doing.
over here like, woo!
right? Yeah. No, you guys can't see this shit, but he's like partying it up over there.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's
Put your
about
clothes
that.
back on.
Hey, I'm not naked yet.
Well, don't be naked.
You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, he keeps trying that every time we film or record. He's like,
I know what you're talking about,
Trying to
Mister.
take his
Rub
clothes
my
off.
nipples while I'm
have I
telling
done
the
this
story.
once this whole episode?
I have not seen your nipple one time today.
You
Exactly.
haven't, but I
See?
sure as fuck have.
How did you see it, but he didn't?
I didn't mean
Are you
this
claiming
episode.
that he's in a different room? Like he's not even here with us? He's a fucking figment of our imagination?
He could be.
Yeah, this is just a mannequin stand-in.
Jesus Christ.
With a little
speaker.
speaker.
Exactly.
I like how you made the gesture for blowjob when we said speaker.
Well, no, I meant like
You're like,
portraying
speaker.
onto the microphone, but blowjob, speaker, same thing,
Yeah.
right? Not much of a
No.
speaker when you got a dick in your mouth. Oh man. Well, I think we've had a fun episode this week for sure.
We sure have,
Toughened your nipples, didn't it?
It did, just a little bit. And just to touch base back onto at the beginning of the episode, if you have an idea for a future episode, make sure you go to anchor.com and leave us a voice message on what you want to do, or go to the Facebook page for the Fearful Crew. Join it, post something that you want maybe said on there, and we'll screenshot that shit and bring it on the show. If you want. Yeah. Do it now.
Yeah, So, be careful walking around late at night. when the stranger seems to be following you, or the super nice guy at the bar who keeps eyeing you, because you never know if they just think you're cute or you're food. And no matter what, when in doubt, never, ever invite them in.
So sleep tight.
Don't let the vampires in.
And always be mindful of your fearful thoughts. Thank you, everybody.